Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Greg. I'm going to go over a coin called UFO Gaming, a coin in the gaming sector. It's probably the second best coin behind Gala that I like. There's also Alluvium that I pay attention to. There is also Nakamoto Games that I pay attention to that I think is worth looking into. Um, and there's Vulcan Forge too. This I think is worth looking into. But my opinion, my order of preferences is going to be Gala first. Probably UFO Gaming second. Alluvium might be in there. Now, Alluvium, I'm a little, probably maybe a little more bullish on that. There's a lot of push in that community. They have really strong community. That can make a big difference for Alluvium. So between Alluvium and UFO Gaming, it's going to be a difference. But I wouldn't be surprised if UFO Gaming is going to rip off more X's than Alluvium, in my opinion. But you just never know. Alluvium can rip too, guys. So here's the deal with it. Let me do a video on this. And this coin is fine. Okay. Only time you have to start worrying about a coin like this is when it starts breaking these lows. It has a lot of space. And you see here in the daily, you got divergence from here to here telling you that's an impulsive move. Okay. So just on this lower time frame, whatever it did here was impulsive. So this now is your one. And because this RSI is going so deep, this is your two. Okay. Um, down to that box, and it's correcting that whole cycle that it just did right there. So that actually looks pretty good. It's actually time to start checking it out, and you can get better prices. So I'm not concerned with it. The move that I made here. Well, I'm not going to go over this correction. I'll go over this move right here. On the daily, you do have an issue with this peak being so high. But the deal is the reason that's so high is that's a fifth wave blow off. So you kind of got to go to lower time frames. You go to a 18-hour, you can see now you're starting to get some divergence from that peak to that peak. So more than likely I had a 1, 2, here's the 3, 4, and an extended fifth wave. A lot of power behind that fifth wave, okay? So now you have a 1, 2, 1, 2, okay? That's just how smart time frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the UFO Gaming chart over here, the overall picture. That with UFO Gaming, I got on the line chart. I want to take out all the wicks because this thing wicks like crazy. Okay, guys. So here's the deal. On a daily chart, here's its cycle, right? All the way up from that peak to that peak, a 5-wave cycle all the way up there. November 21, it came down and corrected the whole thing. Lowest peak in the RSI came back up. The reason you get divergence is because that's a 5-wave move. It did a WXY. So A, B, C, and then this is a connector, and then A, B, C back down to here, and then it moved. So you can see in this RSI on the daily, boom, it took that out. So this is all new. This is new. It finished something right there. This is new for UFO Gaming, okay? So going back, this is now I'm on the Coin Trader Pro chart rather than on this chart. So this is the same thing that it is. Just a second, let me move this out of the way a little bit. This section right here is what it is over here, okay? So 5-wave, back down, and then a move back down over here. And you get the same result on the daily RSI over here. It's coming down to take that out. So the overall picture for UFO Gaming, it's very, very volatile, guys. So look, a coin like this, unless you have 100% confirmation of a bull market where it's just going to go up, is going to be very volatile. So you're probably going to have to ride a coin like this down 20, 30% easy. Okay. So don't let stuff like that scare you out of the market. Just wait for pivot points to be broken. And then that's the way you'll know for coins like this, guys. Okay. So here's the deal with the overall picture is you take this and it had a 1. Here's the 2. So that's the overall count. Let me put this on a green. Let's show you green. I'll put it on micro. Okay, so that's the overall count, a 1, 2, just like so. Okay, I don't like using CoinTrader Pro with these because it does goofy stuff. So then you have a third wave some point in the future is going to be doing that. It's probably going to take it a long time to get that done, guys. So this whole third wave, it'll be probably much higher than that wave over there. Probably, this is probably not going to be done till I don't know, 2024, something in there, something like that. Maybe it's done this year. I don't know. I hope it is done this year. It'd be nice, but I'm not counting on it. It very well could be with an asset like this. It could be done with its third wave and then go into some massive fourth wave correction for a long time. And it could go into some massive fourth wave correction for a long time because its second wave took it from November of 21 down to June of 22, so about 6 months. So now we're in this section, and then you take this here, like so, 1, 2, and you have a lower sequence, right? Just like so, okay? So that's a third wave over here for this asset. So this section is even lower. This is a lower sequence. You can see with RSI, that's a higher sequence 1, lower sequence 1. So now you have a 1, 2. Okay. So you're looking at a very, very bullish asset. And let me change the color on that to like a blue. So you're looking at 3, 4, 5. So something like this. Okay. And the 2. Okay, that 2 has to break that pivot, this pivot right there at that 10, 100 has to break that pivot to negate that count, okay? So now we're in that section. I'm gonna go back over here, and this is exactly what I have set up over here. This is a 1, 2, and then you got another 1. It's working on a second wave of that one to go into this third wave, okay? So more than likely, just some of these assets, you can see on this 12-hour chart, here's its wave sequence, okay? Up to the third wave, probably ended in that area. Long fourth wave correction, busted off that fifth wave, gave yourself the divergence from that peak to that peak, and now it's coming down for that second wave correction, okay? It's 12-hour RSI is deep into oversold territory. It's way down there. It's taken everything out. That right there in itself, just on this 12-hour, that in itself is hidden bullish divergence, guys. That's actually a massive amount of hidden bullish divergence, okay? So it might not make that box that I have right there. It might not make that box, guys. It just always depend on what the market is going to give us. So just be aware of an asset like this. It might not make it, and you could be left behind pretty quick. So like maybe in this section, people maybe saw this, and then maybe they're waiting for lower lows down to here, and they missed that move right there, okay? And that was a substantial move. That was a 674%. Okay. So my targets for 2023 on this move is to this red line. From, let's say you get at the box, you're looking at, 20, but just say 20x to potentially 25x. That's actually my target for that area right there. If you get it at the box. Okay. So what's the worst case scenario is it breaks this pivot. If it breaks that pivot, then this whole thing right here would become a 1, 2. But unlikely in my opinion at this point. Okay. So what I'm going to do is that in my previous videos, I've shown you the reasons why the S&P 500 is potentially going to be going up. And that means possibly the Bitcoin too. And same thing with the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is probably more important to pay attention to when it comes to Bitcoin. But I think you have a good shot that this trend. This is going to be in a sideways area, more or less, I think, guys, for probably like another couple weeks. So what we're going to see is probably a lot of chop for these assets, these asset class, the tech and the S&P 500. Okay, you're going to see probably some tech stocks that are going to be doing really well, like Tesla has. I think Apple's going to be doing pretty well. But there's going to be some other ones that haven't finished their correction. So this is going to be doing some chop. Okay. And then also the uncertainty in the market with Fed raising rates, 50 basis points now, and it's all got to go to 0. I explained that in previous videos. Just recently, I went over that. Watch that if you haven't, to explain why these assets are probably setting up for this move over here. Okay. So like another example, I was just looking at like, optimism as an example. It's probably in a fourth wave right here. Okay. So you have 1, 2, 3, third wave, and now it's in a fourth wave, probably coming right back down. That looks like the area that it's in a perfect flat. So it's coming probably right back down that $2.14, $2.10, right around $2 area. And it's going to pop back up into this fifth wave. Okay. So there's something more than likely in this area coming just based off that. And just looking at lower sequence assets, I was like looking at like Crust Network. Some people were interested in this, and it looks like it completed its sequence right there. And it's definitely coming down to take everything out to go into a third wave. So this one right here is really setting up, depending on where it's going to correct to. It's gone past the previous fourth wave, but it's taking everything out. But if this is going to be finishing up a correction over here, it might do a 3-wave swing and come back around and have a longer drawn out second wave. It's going to be ripping really, really good in this with a third wave. And Crust Shadow is another one that I'm checking out too. It's coming to my target area. Hasn't hit my alert yet, 0.009. But this one right here is going to be, I think, in my opinion, once it's done, it's going to be an easy 15x. But I'm looking at other assets, like this, Crust Network, some other low cap cryptos that look like they want to go into another sequence, and same thing with this over here with UFO Gaming is telling us, or telling me at least, is that somewhere in the future, there's probably going to be a pretty good move over here. So what does that mean? What is Bitcoin going to be doing? So let me go to Bitcoin to give you guys an idea here. So Bitcoin is, because the S&P 500 and probably the NASDAQ are going to have some chop for a while, more than likely Bitcoin is going to have some chop. So my most probable expectations for this is that it's chopping this way. It's going to go back up, maybe a 3-wave, and then maybe chop back over here and maybe break that low and come down to the $20,000 area. But here's the thing too. Some of those cryptos that are bullish, right, in this area that are bullish, and Bitcoin rips that off, some of those can rip off a wave in that area right there too, guys. Okay, just because Bitcoin isn't, blasting up, if they're bullish, right, they can rip off a wave when Bitcoin just rips off a corrective move right there. Okay, and the swing on this too is a corrective swing down. Like when you buy an asset, I've gone over this before with a 3-wave swing. So if you see a 5-wave swing move up like so in an asset, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3. It's a buy signal, and then you go up. We do it with 3, 7s, and 11s. So if you see a nice move up and you see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that too is a buy signal, depending on what it's doing. And with Bitcoin, you do have potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wave swing, which is a corrective swing, more than likely, in my opinion, WXY, that's finishing up in this area. Okay. So UFO Gaming is not a concern for me yet. It actually has its bullish, more bullish signals. It's just in a correction, just have some patience. And then, once it starts ripping and you have a good shot that's going to happen, because this is a first wave and it's going to a third. This should rip well beyond that high right there, guys. That rip should go up, 400 or 500%, in my opinion, if that's what it's going to be doing. As long as it holds that pivot right there, corrects down here, and you see this data down here in the RSI like this, it can rip that easy. So the RSI over here for this wave should start making its way up beyond that one right there and start getting up there. And if it starts breaking that one right there, then you're in a third wave for UFO Gaming, which is going to could really rip. If you made it all the way to the end, do me a huge favor, drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Peace.